Every Bridge Burning is the first album in a whopping 8 years from cult beloved grindcore group Nails. Written led by Todd Jones, who is the only remaining founding member, the band ruled the grindcore genre as well as intense metal in any subgenre over the course of the 2010s with their first 3 albums. A few years after 2016's You Will Never Be One of Us, the group split apart with the departure of drummer Taylor Young and bassist John Gianelli, leaving Jones to reform the group with guitarist Shelby Lermo, bassist Andrew Soils, and drummer Carlos Cruz. With 8 years distance between albums and nearly an entirely new lineup, Every Bridge Burning had every right to be a complete and utter disappointment. However, anyone would be a fool to place their bets against one of the modern day's most consistent metal bands. On Every Bridge Burning, Nails pretty much picks up right where they left off. Opener Imposing Will features essentially every Nails mainstay in a minute-long period, blisteringly fast blast beat drumming, guitars so distorted and fuzz out you can hardly tell where each note begins and ends, and Jones's gurgling and growling shouting. Where the album differs is in some of the new guitar tones and playing styles found on tracks like Give Me the Painkiller, which is laced with traditional metal-style guitar riffs played so fast it seems like parody. The tone of these guitars almost seem midified, which is such a bizarre yet excellent sound for Nails. Closer No More Rivers to Cross is one of the slowest paced Nails songs to date, which makes it a very notable closer. While yes, there are many new ideas on the album, it's simply the fact that Every Bridge Burning showcases how Nails' now 15-plus-year-old sound holds up so well and is still absolutely crushing to this day that makes this album such a marvel. The fact that songs like the briskly paced and performed Punishment Map, the rightfully cynical and violent Dehumanized, and the aforementioned Imposing Will can also end up being super notable and catchy is just downright absurd. Lyrically, this is one of the more notable Nails projects. Aforementioned tracks Imposing Will and Dehumanized are both very much about hatred and violence against minorities, with the latter giving no real hope, but the former painting Jones as an amazing rebel ready to force them under his control and take back what they stole. However, I find much of this album to potentially be about toxic relationships of the past. The album title, as well as this being released after all former Nails members split apart from the group, certainly makes this heavily implied. It does seem kind of invasive to look in on, just look at the aforementioned closer, which paints Jones as a forcefully isolated person, or the verse on Made Up in Your Mind where Jones is either describing himself or someone else as a paranoid dick. Again, the invasive nature of this album's lyrics take a toll on the penultimate I Can't Turn It Off, which makes me a little uncomfortable with how bluntly Jones is willing to say that he is just the worst. I really shouldn't be surprised that Every Bridge Burning is as good as it is. Nails have solidified themselves as royalty in not just grindcore, but overall absurd and brutal metal. This is just 18 more minutes of that, just as intense and awesome as they left it. I can only hope this means we'll be getting more Nails albums throughout the 2020s, but even if we don't, I'm pretty confident saying this album solidified Nails as an all-time great metal outfit. I'm going to give Every Bridge Burning a score of 8 out of 10, and that is all.